Hi everyone, Nick Hewitt here with another video tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about setting up Joomla on either your Linux machine or if you're running Windows and have xampp running. That's what I'm going to be doing. Um, so go ahead and get started. I'm actually going to go to joomla.org, and here you'll find the download Joomla, get the latest version button. Here you can get the full package, or if you already have an installation uh, already available either on your web server or already on your local machine, you can get the upgrades for each version. And then they do have all of the older versions, so if you're going from 5.7 and you want to upgrade to the latest, they have all those here. So go ahead and get started and download that package, the full version, and then extract it into either your htdocs if you're running xampp on a Windows machine, or your public.html or subdirectory of public.html or underscore HTML. Once you have it extracted, I'm actually going to change the name because I don't want to be typing out this full path when I go to view the website. So we'll go ahead and do Joomla underscore 16 for the version. I just do this in my testing environment so that way I know what version of Joomla I'm running. But you can name it anything. So if you have a website that's called I don't know, John's Autos or something like that, you can definitely name it that. So once you have that extracted and you change the name, go ahead and go into the actual folder structure. Here you'll see your installation folder, and I have xampp running with my local host already set up. I did do a video on this if you guys want to check that out. It covers setting up xampp on a Windows machine. If you have any questions or anything, be sure to send me an email. So we'll go ahead and go to localhost, and this is just my first page, and then Joomla underscore 16 to get to our Joomla installation. Here you'll see the installation of Joomla. And this basically covers setting it up on any environment. So if you're running it on II6 with Windows, you can still do this as long as you have PHP running. With this, it's the alpha version, so you're only gonna have a limited number of languages. When the full release comes out, you'll have a full version or full list of languages you can choose from for the installation. I speak English, so I'm going to stick with that. But those of you who speak another language, or who have their other main language as a different language, go ahead and choose the one that you use. So go ahead and click next, and you want to make sure that all of these options on the top are all set to yes. If you do not have them all as yes, then you're going to run into some problems, especially this configuration.php. If you're running in a Linux environment and this is set to no, then you're going to notice that you're going to have major problems, and your site's never actually going to get configured. So make sure that your public HTML directory is writable, and all subdirectories are writable as well. So go ahead and click next, and this is the end user license agreement. I don't read it. You can if you want to, but it's open source. You're basically they're not liable for anything that may go wrong. So go ahead and click next. And then here you have your MySQL connection. Host name is whatever server your MySQL database is on. This is going to be on my machine, so I'm going to go ahead and choose localhost. If you know the IP address or the domain name, go ahead and put that in. But I actually have to set up my database right now. That's not very hard. All we do is localhost for me, and I'm going to be using phpMyAdmin. So I'm going to go localhost xampp. That's the nice thing about xampp. It comes prepackaged with all these useful tools. Then I'm going to create a new database, Joomla 16. Oops. So we'll go ahead and create that. Now that our database is created, we don't need to do anything else. Joomla is going to handle the rest of the creating of tables and information for us. So go ahead and put in your username and password. xampp has a default username and password of root and no password, so I'm going to use that. And then do Joomla underscore 16 for your database name, or whatever you choose to use for your database name. Those of you who are using xampp and want to use it as your production web server, please do some research on how to secure an xampp installation. You will run into some problems there. I mean, username and password, you definitely want to change those. There's some security loopholes that you want to look out for. So do some research on that. I usually set up an Apache server, a LAMP machine, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. But for this, for testing, this works perfectly. So we'll go ahead and go on to next. This should work no problem, but if you do have any problems, you will see an error message, and then you'll have to go back and re-enter this information until it's correct. So we'll go ahead and go to next. There we go. And FTP, I never use FTP, but basically what this is, or at least from my understanding, is you can use an FTP user instead of using the HTTP D user or whatever your web user is, instead for handling all your file uploads and your file changes and stuff. I don't use this. I really don't have an answer for those of you who have any questions. Do some research on it, but I've never had any problems without using this. So go ahead and click on next. And this is the last page. Give your site a name. I'm just going to call it Joomla 1.6. You can call it whatever you want. This is the name that your home page is going to have. So you want to name it whatever your company is or whatever the website that you're building is. And then this admin username, this is a new feature to 1.6. This is 1.6 is an alpha, so it's not complete yet. It's at 1.5.17 for the actual full stable package, but this is new to 1.6, I believe, and this allows you to change your actual admin username. Before, you'd have to go in and create a new user, then demote the admin user to a lower end, or completely change the admin username in the Joomla console. This is very nice. So I'll go ahead and put in my name, Nick Hewitt, and then I'll just do my email address, nicholas@hewittmediadesigns.net. Please use your own email. I don't want to be getting a bunch of service emails and notification emails about Joomla errors and stuff. So be sure to use your own, and then go ahead and put in your admin password. And this will be this is the password that you're going to use to log into the administrator area. So make sure you keep that password. If you don't, it's going to be a little harder. You're going to have to go into your database and actually manually enter your password, which is encoded. So, and for this purpose, I'm going to install sample data by default. If you don't hit this, then Joomla comes with no information. It's just a home page and just your template. So if you're new to Joomla, definitely install sample data so you have an idea of how things work. You can go ahead and modify things and kind of get your bearings as far as what each thing does, where it's located, and that sort of thing. So go ahead and hit that button, and now we are complete. Just hit next, and you'll notice there's a message here. Please remember to completely remove the installation directory. All you do for that is you go to your folder structure, click on that installation directory, and because I'm on the page, I think I'm actually going to have an issue. With 1.6, I do believe that you can go straight to the site without removing this, but definitely